Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
TGIF. It's Friday. Here we are once again here. And thank you so much for being with us. We are here gathered together as we are each week. The show is called the Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allan, and I am going to be with you for the next hour as usual. And we get together, we have a little coffee, have some talk, and everybody involved in the show, including you. We're going to some of the people that are around for a long time to let them know that you already know that you know the protocol. Now I am going to take the time out to talk to the people who are simply new to the program, here for the first time, and let them know how we operate. As I said, we start the show each Friday. And in our town, it's where it's out of New York City because that's where we originate. So we're Eastern. So it's 10 o'clock, it's after 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock here in New York. But it may be something different in your area. You may be someplace in another time zone. But you should look at your clock because whatever it says in your clock, that's what time we meet each Friday at this time. And we, as I say, get together. We want to get you involved just like we do everyone else. You can join in conversation. All you have to do is use your fingers, your keyboard on your computer, your cell phone, or even your iPad, or anything that you do to communicate or to see us. Hold on. You can make it like that. Anyway, whatever communication form that you have, and you can use that, type it in. I'll see you right there on the big screen, and I will get all of that messages from you. And of course, I will entertain all of your thoughts and ideas, and of course, your opinions too, because that's what it's all about. It's a core of the exchange of ideas and opinions. So that's how we work it here each week. And you should also know that we come on 3 different places each week, but not only on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram as well. So you get a chance to select whatever you want to choose. And of course, you can be there and let off on. So I want to say hi to all of you guys, much more as Facebook, YouTube, all you guys on Instagram as well. Thank you so much for being along with us. And for that, all of the opinions and that are expressed on this show, using these push that expressed on this show, the Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the show or the opinion of the people on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, and any other social media or broadcast. So, with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, let's raise our cups as we always do. Excuse me, shoot up. Oh boy, that's it. Now you're wondering, the background is not off, right? I'm usually in front of the normal background in the studio. We're broadcasting live today from Green Space. They have changed urban space around the city. But we're here on the urban space right on East 40, I think, yeah, East 45th Street and Vanderbilt Avenue, right at the corner over there, right across the street from the midlife. And, years ago, not too many years ago, but maybe something about 3 years ago, we used to broadcast here because we always used to broadcast live. We always did the Coffee Hour live on location. Now, across the street, there's a place called, well, it used to be called Cafe Central, and Cafe Central no longer exists. The place is still there. It's on the grounds of the midlife. And when the weather is good, like it is today, we are broadcasting outside. And then in the summer, in the wintertime, you come in for a little walk. That's where we come here to broadcast here at a friendly place called Urban Space. And so we decided to do this. This is our first broadcast since the pandemic on Urban Space. Now, we did a live broadcast maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We did it from Grand Central Station, but discovered now Urban Space, they provide free Wi-Fi, so we're able to do that. I'm excited about it because, it's great, it's comfortable, it's relaxing. You can see the background. You might hear some music in the background, music that may be recognizable, but I will put a disclaimer on that. If you hear the music and do not own rights to any music that's being played here. Just want to get that out of the way. But I'm pretty sure you can't hear it that well anyway. The most important thing is that you guys are here with us. Love you for being along with us now. If you're in an area like me, in the Eastern time zone, you're probably at work right now, around the water cooler, or maybe you're at the desk right now, and maybe at this time you may be on your coffee break. Right? I don't know. In the corporate world, they used to have the coffee breaks. For that, and what you used to do is take that 15 minutes or so, buy your coffee, and then mingle with your coworkers or whatever. But here's what you can do. If you take your 15-minute coffee break, well, I suggest that you take it at your desk where your computer is and where you can see the show. And take that 15 minutes, enjoy your coffee break there. Coffee break is over, and go back to work and do things they call multitasking, right? That's what you can do, right? Now, whatever time you can spend with us, it would be appreciated. If you can't spend the full hour, whatever time that you can spend with us would be great. So we invite you to stay with us and enjoy the coffee hour. Now, with the program, we've got our regular routine, Now, usually, Ryan Camp comes along in today's world of sports. Ryan will not be here today. A little business. He's not going to get into it, and I'm not going to get into it. But he's not going to be here today. He has a day off, but he was kind enough to leave his information on. And of course, he brings the latest developments in today's world of sports, and so he's not here to see that. All right, here's the deal. We're going to read off whatever he gave us. He emailed it to me last night, and then I'm going to take over for that. And of course, that'll cover all the sports. Also, later on in the program, before the show is over, I do what I always do, right? What I usually do is take the time out to give you those movies that you enjoy so much. I take it from Turner Classic Movies, right? Turner Classic Movies, my picks of the week for a lot of you need to do a lot of things. And one of the things that you may want to do is yourself with movies that you haven't seen in a long time. Therefore, I am going to take the time to give you the movies that I have this week and put it in your bucket list for movies to simply watch for the week. That's all coming up later on in the program. So I think you're going to enjoy that. So we invite you to stay along with us. And well, here we are. It's September 8th. September 8th. And this month in September is what we have. I don't know if you care or not. You should care. You should put in your regimen. We have what we call the National Fruit and Vegetable Month. That's what we're celebrating right now, all month long, urging all of you to eat your fruits and veggies. Now, I understand that even though they say you should eat 5 servings and vegetables daily, I mean, who really does that? Do you really do that? I mean, I don't. Just do the best you can. Nevertheless, that's what we're celebrating, taking the time out to stay healthy and eat your fruits and vegetables for you and for your children too. And of course, this month, this is a short week. So we just got wrapping up another holiday with the Labor Day holiday weekend, which made this a short week. And I hope that you really enjoyed your Labor Day holiday weekend. Of course, you probably did the normal things that you normally do out there. Is just get out there and barbecue and a lot of things like that. But whatever you did, we hope that you had a good time. And again, this is the short week. So this is Friday, TGIF, thank God. Depending on where you are around the world, you could be in your Saturday morning. So there you go. We got so much to talk about today, and we're going to just give you more information. Those of you, if you don't mind joining us, it doesn't matter. Like I said, you can join us in conversation. You see right there on the big screen. If you have any questions about the show or anything like that, even if you just want to say hi or indulge. Now, if you want to indulge in conversation, what I'm going to ask you to do, like I always do each week, I always ask people if they indulge in conversation, if they can give us their weather forecast. This is be a full-blown weather forecast. It can be just a short summary of weather that's happening in your area. And just give us that, because we like to compare notes. Now, if you're in the area of New York City or in the vicinity of New York City. Don't have to worry about that because people will take care of that. I will take care of all of that weather for you that's coming up. So again, if you guys want to indulge the conversation, please do that. I appreciate it. I want to also tell you too that the flu vaccine is available now. It is. It's available to everyone. And if you want to stay healthy, which I be part of that, go to your favorite pharmacy and get your flu shots. They're available right now because this is the time of the season, right? We are in September. And whenever you take your flu shots, a lot of people take it that early. They want to take it somewhere around early to mid-September or maybe mid to late September, early October, kind of time. That's up to you. The most important thing to do is make sure you get your flu shots. Now, there's another vaccine that's coming out, and I don't know if it's out today. I reported it last night because it wasn't written in stone. I mentioned it last night on TalkBack Live that there's a new vaccine for COVID. And as you already know, even though we bypassed most of the pandemic, we still have the COVID going around, the flu COVID going around. There were reports, and I had personal friends who had told me they contracted the virus, but they stayed home for maybe about 4, 5, 6 days before they were able to come back because they were basically healthy. They just had the sniffles and maybe body aches and things like that because they had prior vaccinations for COVID. It wasn't that harmful, but we don't want to get to the point where you get it all. So please, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to go while you're taking your vaccinations, your flu vaccinations, you can take your COVID as well. Again, I'm not so sure when it actually comes out. They said it could be early as today, maybe, or maybe even later, but whenever it is, it comes out. They also say that you can take the shots at the same time. Be up to you. That's a personal choice. You want to take your shots at the same time. You take the COVID and the flu shot at the same time. But the most important thing is to get it. Now, the other thing I want to note that it's like it was before. Now, it's a possibility that, this time going to get your COVID shot may not be the free shots that you were used to before, as also with testing. They may, of course, some of it, depending on what your coverage is by, medical coverage. Some of them may pick up the tab in full, and then some you may pick up part of the tab and you have to pay the copay. That may be part of the action too. But check your insurance company and find out whether or not they're going to pick up the full tab. Just tell them that you want to go out and want to get your COVID shot. See whether or not, if they are able or willing to pay for that. And they'll let you know. And even if they don't, maybe they'll get to the point where you pay public their copay and they'll pay the rest of it. And usually the copay is lower than the actual shot itself. And for those of you who do not have any insurance, explore that too. Try to find out whether or not that you can get the shot for free. Now, the president is working on getting shots for free for people who have insurance. It would be nice for all of us because we didn't really ask for this, right? We didn't ask for the COVID. There you go. Okay, so that's how it goes so far. I am going to give you my weather forecast right now. It's time to do that. I'm going to get that weather forecast right now and let you know what we have in the area. And again, those of you who are going to join in conversation, I hope you do. And if you do, give us your weather forecast around wherever you are, wherever you may be. And so we can compare notes. Now, here we are in New York City. We've got 79 degrees outside. See what this high is, and hot temperatures during the week. 75 degrees outside right now. The weather is not going to be that great. However, it's not going to be a sulfur. It's not going to be a washout or anything. but it's something that you really wish that happened during the week, and hopefully in your weekend with sunny skies. Now, this is only for New York because wherever you may be, you may have better weather. So this we have in New York. Those of you who are in New York City don't have to worry about giving your weather forecast. Got mostly sunny skies early with scattered thunderstorms developing this afternoon. Gusty winds and small hail are possible, high around 89 degrees. Winds will be south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain will be 40%. We have scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially during the evening. That's for tonight. And there'll be gusty winds coming along too. Small hail, possible as well as blow around 75 degrees. Winds will be light and variable. Chance of rain will be 50%. We've got mostly cloudy skies for tomorrow during the morning, and followed by thunderstorms in the afternoon. So doesn't look good for Saturday. Too good. We'll have a high around 84 degrees, which will be light, variable. Chance of rain will be 60%. Saturday night, if you're going out taking an umbrella with you, that's very important because there'll be scattered thunderstorms in the evening. Be cloudy skies overnight, 74 degrees, winds will be light and variable. Chance of rain be 40%. And the outlook for Sunday, as you follow a week, we'll wrap up our weekend, head towards the week again. Just in time, well, got to get back to the grind. This is what it looks like. A church and hole or whatever you do on Sunday, it's going to be scattered thunderstorms in the morning, becoming more widespread in the afternoon. So it gets worse as the weekend goes along. Up high around 80 degrees, winds will be light, little chance of rain will be 78%. And repeating our current temperature in New York City, we have 79 degrees sun. And I hope your weather forecast is going to be a little better. I hope your weather forecast is going to be a little better than what we have in New York. But you make the best of it, and make sure that everybody is keep the spirit. Keep the spirit. That's what we ask for. And Brian Camp is out there, even though he can't come in today. But he's out there right now. He's got 75 degrees over there in Charlotte, North Carolina. He just managed to chime in, and that's okay. He's got 75 degrees in Charlotte, North Carolina. And it's going to go up to 88 degrees in Charlotte, North Carolina. So that heat wave that they have, it's not quite good yet. He told me last night he had a little bit of rain there. And so, that should cool things down a bit. Right now, again, he's got 75 degrees. And for us, we're shooting to 88 degrees. Thank you, Brian, for that. And who are coming in, I want to say hello to Robin Jordan out of New York. Robin and I go back a long way. We're churchgoers. Robin, good to see you out there. Thank you so much for being, and a pleasant good morning to each and every one of you out there watching us here on the Coffee Hour. That's the name of the show. We're going to be here for the entire hour. Look at my beautiful background. We're broadcasting live at Urban Space. And of course, I love doing that. I love being here. And, it kind of breaks up the monotony of being in the studio and coming out live where people are. You can see the background. Not a lot of things are going on right now, but you can actually see people passing by. And this is a place where they have, it's a big place. It's a big place where they have a lot of concession stands. And Urban Space have a chain of other places too, right around the city. Downtown in Manhattan, over here, and then further uptown in Manhattan. But we always chose the one, the broadcast right here, and we're located right here on East 45th Street and Vanderbilt Avenue, right across the street from the MetLife building. So thank you so much for being along. And I want to say hello to all of you people who are watching us on Instagram. Thank you so much for being along with us. Now, those of you who are watching us on YouTube, you can, as you can do right now, what you can do right now, you can tag this show right now to all of your friends. Doesn't have to be all of them. It could be a lot of them. Just pick one, two, or whatever. And tag the show to them. They'll see the notification coming from you. And what they'll do is they'll click onto that notification. And once they click onto that notification, it brings them right here where we are broadcasting. And if they like what they see and like what they hear, they will come along and possibly be full-fledged members, just like the rest of you. For you people who are watching us on YouTube, as I always do, I always encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, when you subscribe to my YouTube channel, that'll give you an opportunity to know that whenever we broadcast live, you'll get that notification providing you're online. You'll see it just in case you might forget about the show. And we will remind you. If you're online and you forgot about the show, you forgot about poor me, I'm out here hoping that you'll be out there. The notification will pop up. That once that notification pops up, you click onto it, and it brings you right to the YouTube channel, and you can enjoy the show as well. And for the rest of you who are watching us on Instagram, there they go. Instagram, thank you so much for being along. All you have to do, you don't have to do anything special. All you have to do is just, keep us and tell your family and friends about us. Keep the action going and word percolating. That's all you have to do. Okay, in case you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, again, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And it's we've got 21 minutes, and it's that time right now. Because Brian, as I said, is not going to be here, so he gave us a summary, a small summary of sports, and we're going to get it out of the way right now. Let's start with Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball announced it placed LA Dodgers pitcher Julio Urias as administrative leave for 3 days after police arrested the left-hander on suspicion on felony domestic violence. And what else? Domestic violence, and the league was imposed under the baseball joint domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse policy adopted by the Major League Baseball and the Players Union in 2015, and can be the first to step towards suspension. Players are paid but cannot play while on leave. Moving along, on this day, September 8th, 1939, New York Yankees beat the Boston Red Sox 4-1 in a 7th-inning game, and it was called because of lighting. They had lighting problems like that. It sounds like the Chicago, right? They had a problem. They never, remember the old stadium, they didn't even have any lights, so they didn't play any night games. Okay, back in 1958, on this day, Roberto Clemente ties modern record 3 triples in a game. Back in 1963, on this day, Milwaukee Braves Hall of Fame Lawrence Bond ties Christy Mathewson with 13-time 20-game win season. In 1965, the Kansas City A's, Bert Campaneris plays all 9 positions in a game. And back in 1972, on this day, the Chicago Cubs, Ferguson Jenkins wins his 20th game this straight year. Back in 1973, on this day, Mike Aaron sets a record of most of his home runs in the league, the first league, for 109 home runs. In 1985, Pete Rose ties Ty Cobb. That's a tongue twister. Pete Rose ties Ty Cobb's record with 4,191 hits. And 2021, Derek Jeter, Ted Simmons, Larry Walker, and Melvin Miller went up to the Baseball Hall of Fame, but the ceremony was postponed due to the pandemic. And finally, birthdays. Birthday, 1945, Len Barney, the NFL quarterback, Hall of Fame, was born on this day in Gulfport, Mississippi. In 1946, L.C. Greenwood, NFL defense end, was born in Camden, Mississippi. And in 1956, Maurice Cheeks, NBA guard, was born in Chicago, Illinois. And of course, in 1970, Clarence Weatherspoon, NBA forward, was born in Crawford, Mississippi. Sports, as Brian would say, on this beautiful Friday. Well, beautiful this Friday is in New York, but he's got beautiful weather probably in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we want to thank Brian for giving us all of that information and So there's the sports, and hopefully he'll be back next week. He'll be back on Talk Back Live doing sports, but hopefully he'll be back. Let's say back to the coffee hour next week. What do you say, Brian? Be in the coffee hour. I'll see him. We'll see what happens. Okay, we're going to talk about a lot of situations that goes on, and we have some information too in the news, and because these chains between the people, they break all the time. So singer songwriter Jimmy Buffett popularized beach bum soft rock and the Escapists Caribbean flavored song Margaritaville, and turned the celebration of loathing into the empire of restaurants, resource, and frozen concoctions. He peacefully died last Friday, and surrounded by his family, friends, music, dogs, and Jimmy Buffett was 76 years old. I want to go to New York. We have a little local news. I want to pay homage to Rochelle Boone. Rochelle Boone is she was an award-winning news reporter and anchor at New York City station New York One. That's it, New York One. She passed away with battle of pancreatic cancer over the last year or so. When she passed away this week, she was 48 years old. Very gone too soon. Co-op singer Larry Chance, great friend of mine, who I've known for a lot of years. He was the group called the Earls. He passed away this week in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Earls were known for the hits. If you remember, if you're a baby boomer like I am, remember the hits such as Remember Ben, I Believe, and a few more. Larry came from the Bronx here in New York City, and he was 82 years old, but he was short. It was 83rd birthday, and I just want to make it just a little thought about Larry. Larry was a great guy. He was a great singer, and I'm going to miss talking to him. I'm going to miss all of the conversations we have together about the business and about the music as well. You know, because you know me, I am crazy about this business. I am crazy about music, and sometimes you get on the phone and you're just talking about the business. And Larry was in the hospital prior to his death. This is some time ago. I remember he wound up in the hospital, and I got in touch with him. I called him at the hospital to see how he was doing. And at that particular time, he was doing okay. And the next time he got out of the hospital and started feeling fine. But so I'm gonna miss him. He's a swell guy to talk to. We talked about music of the 50s and in the old days of Allan on the radio and those fine things. And of course, all of you guys who are out there watching us, we want to thank you so much for being along with us for this great day, Friday. Now, from where I'm sitting right now, the sun is trying to fight its way to the clouds a little bit, trying to fight its way to the clouds, into the clouds. But we hope that wherever you are, your weather is just as good. I'm going to join in conversation. Please take the time out as well to take your time and give us your weather forecast wherever you are. Let's see. And just give us whatever you have going. Okay? And we really would appreciate it. So much is happening out here. And for those of you who are just coming in, I just want you to know that we are here, we're looking around here, right? You don't have the normal background in a studio, right? We are here at not Cafe Sketcher, we're here at Urban Space, and this big, huge place. We have a lot of concession stands. And you know, Urban Place was going through a phase. When we used to broadcast here early, Urban Space, like the pandemic affected this place like it affected a lot of places. So now that we're under control with that pandemic, we're not under control with the virus just yet, because people are still getting it, but we have a little handle on it. but it took a lot of action out of this place. A lot of places across the street too. We always mention that place across the street, Capital Center, no longer exists. Now, I noticed that here, urban space, some of the concessions that were here are being taken down and replaced with newer ones. And I believe it's under new management. So there's a lot of changes. So we're not fully sure on how many changes are going on, but I know a couple of session stands and working on one back here where I am. Look back there, they work on over there. And then they're working on another one as you enter way in the back. There used to be a coffee outlet there, way in the back. So they just tore that one down. They're reconstructing that and trying to add more. But there's a lot of places to do. So let's see what the outcome is going to be once they get started with that. And of course, they'll give us some kind of information on what's going on. But we're going to make this our place each week. Well, we're not in the studio sometimes. We're not going to be here like each week, but sometimes we'll resort to the studio and broadcasting. But I love the fact coming out here and just taking the time to just communicate live right here. And so you see more people coming in Instagram. Hello to you guys out there, Facebook. Yeah, all of you guys. Thank you so much for Okay, we've got more things to talk about today. In the news, we talk about things that are happening in the news, and sadly, they just and then we just talk about. Here's something I want to talk about. News about the former leader Henry. I think his real name is Henry. Enrique Taro. But that's his middle. Enrique is his middle name. They call him Enrique Taro. Henry Enrique Taro was sentenced. You heard about it. He was sentenced this past Tuesday, 22 years in prison for orchestrating failed plot inmate P01135809. 345/666 Eastern Continent. Now I have to say that. I have to linger with that because you already know who I mean by 345/666 Eastern Continent. So pretty soon we're not going to use that name anymore because we have a new name for him, which is called Prison P01135809 inmate. Okay. We already know who he is. So anyway, Enrico, he's got 22 years. Now, originally, they wanted to lay 33 years on him. His 33 years of his life in prison. But of course, he's not going to get the 33 years. He's only going to get 22 years. Now, the people that were convicted and charged and sentenced starts from a decade. 10 years to 22 years. In between that, you got 17 years, you got 18 years, you got quite a few. This is the latest one that happened, a 22 year sentence. And so, we get what we paid for, obviously, and that's what it's all about. So anyway, here's another thing that happened, and it's only happening because if you ignore certain things that they not tell you, then of course you're going to pay for it. Former inmate P01135809, White House trader or White House trade advisor Peter Navarro. Heard about this? This is fresh news. And found guilty Thursday. 2 counts of criminal contempt on Congress defying subpoena from the House committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol. And this guy, Peter Navarro, he just ignoring it and ignoring it. Now, a person like me or a person like you, or just ordinary people, when you get a subpoena for something, you're going to honor that subpoena, you're going to come to get it. And so he just ignored it too many times to the fact now he faced 2 years in prison. He can face 2 years in prison. And so we're going to have to see what that outcome is going to be. But he was uh, convicted just yesterday. And there's a lot going on in the news, a lot of things going on in the news. Okay, if you're just joining us once again, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. Not Talk Back Live, but it's the Coffee Hour. And I'm Frank Allan. I'll work here for the remaining of the show to the top of the hour. Of course, that will be the end. And of course, the weekend is here for those of you who are going to indulge. And as I said later on in the program, I am going to give you all of that information on the movies that I always select for you guys each week. And that adds to your bucket list of movies on what you watch. A lot of you guys hang out and do other things, but one of the things you may want to do is get to some old movies. You may be in an area where it's so, I don't know, the weather is so, what's the word I want to use? I'm not so sure. It's too sure. The word I want to use is, I don't know. But, it keeps you indoors. Inclement weather. I guess that's the best word I can think of. Inclement weather. Just keep you indoors. And that would be a good time, ladies and gentlemen, to watch all of those great movies that you like. And I have, again, some of them that I am going to talk to you about and give you the movies to talk to you about. Okay, so that's all coming up. And it's all right here on the shoe fly. Right here on the Coffee Hour. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I can't stress this enough. Stress it enough. Make sure that you get vaccinated. The vaccine for the flu is available right now. It's available right now. And you can go there and take your shot. I don't think with the flu you don't need an appointment. And it's usually for COVID that you have to make an appointment. But you can just walk into your favorite pharmacy and just roll up your sleeve, and right. And then a lot of people, you can take it now or you can take it a little later on, like somewhere in the middle of September. We're at the beginning of September now, somewhere in late September or early October. And you can do that. Also, the new COVID vaccine that's out. I don't know if it's going to be out today. And those of you who are planning to take the COVID shots, keep in mind that it may not be like it was before. Because remember, we were getting free shots. Depending on your insurance company, you may have it covered for you. They may cover it for you. And if they don't fully cover it for you, they may halfway cover some of it and then pay the copay. The copay is not that bad. Consider it, because there's no price on good health. There's no price on good health. So keep all of that in mind and make sure to get out there and get your shots. It's very, very important. Okay, I was listening to some of the what came up to me earlier during the week. And they were asking me, I used to hear you on the radio. You don't DJ anymore. I said, well, where have you been? Where have you been? I retired. I don't have to do that anymore. Where have you been? And they said, well, I guess you can't answer any questions I may have about artists or how you feel about the artists of today. And I said, sure. I said, that's something that stays with me forever, knowledge and all of that. But there was one particular person who was asking me about, maybe a lot of you guys can chime in on it. They were asking me about the music of today and how you feel about it. I don't know, maybe some of you guys can chime in on it. What do you think about the music of today? Now, it's not like it was a long time ago. Now, you got to understand something. Each generation that came up, their music was it. And when they had children, and they listened to the music of their generation. Parents always told you to turn that music down. That's trash music. You should have been there when we had our music. Let's say, for instance, people of the night that were like around in the 1930s and 1940s, and hopefully some of them are still around today. I don't know what they think about the music today. The 1930s and the 1940s. Now they were using. They had that back then. They had that swing music, which of course I like as well. And it was post-war, post-war, post-World War II, around that time. And what they did, they had that music and everybody enjoyed it, and it was like that music at the time. As time went along, when they went from the swing music and they went over to the 1940s, swing came in, the 1950s came around. Guess what? Doo-wop came in. Full doo-wops came in. 1950, doo-wops came in, rock and roll, as they said. And so that's when we had Elvis Presley, Little Richard, and who else? Such Berry. We have They call him the king of rock and roll, but we're not going to go there. Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, all of these guys came in, and we had the old doo-wop groups. And I mentioned my friend Larry Chant, the Earls, Frankie Lyman, and the Teenagers. So that all came. So people of the 1940s who enjoyed the swing music, I'm not saying they didn't like that music. They said, that's not the kind of music that we were listening to back then. The kind of music we were listening to that back then was this great music, post-war music. It was great. And so now we move on to another generation. From the 1950s, the doo-wops, what happened, came in and left somewhere maybe in the beginning of the 1960s, or maybe halfway down the line, around 1935. It's when it dropped out, but we still had the log shops and places to hang out, things like that. And then you had Motown. Town came along, and you had the Philadelphia sound that came in the 1970s. I'm saying all of that because all of that music was good. And to be honest with you, people ask me, what happened to the music of today? Well, with exception for a few people, uh, as far as I'm concerned, this is only my opinion, me speaking for myself, no one else. When the 1980s wrapped up, I thought that was it for the music. I thought that was it. Now, again, you can't deny the music that's in today, because this is the music that's in today is what the kids like today. Just rated 50 years of hip hop. Right? I remember pop came. I was like 22 years old when hip hop emerged, and hip hop is still around. It's still going. It's still celebrated. They have hip hop events. They had a few not too long ago in different boroughs in different cities. Of course, I'm pretty sure in your city as well. The hip hop emerged from there, and it's still going on strong. But except for hip hop, you have these little sounds like they call it music, which pop music, something in a way I could use it for. I like to hear it in the gym, because it's good exercise music. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I gave up radio because of the fact that, when I was playing some of the music, because if you guys remember, I had my own oldie show, because I didn't want to play the music of what was happening today at that particular time. Then I had a jazz show. And so that comes in the realm of music that goes way back. But when I did the oldie show, when I gave up, I retired the oldie show. They said there was nothing left to do, so I decided just to get on radio completely as a DJ. So that's exactly what I did. And I was at this one station, which I'm not going to mention. It was a top 40 station, which I loved being there, loved working there. But it got to the point where it was music. When I first went to that station, it was music in the 80s, which I enjoyed. It was kind of like soft rock music, that kind of music. and I started to enjoy it. And then the programming got a little more advanced, and then it started going to music of the 90s, and then further on, and got to the point where I was playing music that I didn't like. So uh, I decided I was going to drop out completely and just leave it alone. That's what made me discover that, it was time to let it go and make way for the younger guys, on the community radio. It's time to do that. So let it go, and the younger guys take over. The younger guys, you know, and that's what happened. So, in solitude, I always listen to the music that I enjoy so much, which is oldies and like gospel. I'm talking about old gospel. I'm not talking about the stuff that they're playing today. Because in different categories, when I was listening to jazz, jazz was a great music. It was just plain jazz. Now, the history of jazz, way back in those days, they used to refer it to as house music. Believe it or not, house music. And jazz expanded. Then you have the Duke Ellingtons and the Count Basies, and that's when jazz really popped. And then as time have gone on, they put in a lot of other places. Then you had not just jazz, traditional jazz. Now you have modern jazz, and now you have what's the other one, which I like as well. Uh, let's see, what kind of? Oh, you have Latin jazz. Latin jazz and smooth jazz. I like smooth jazz, but everything just got advanced, and it just exploded. For some people say, well, I don't particularly like that kind of jazz. I just like traditional jazz, which is good. But it's a good thing that you have a lot to choose from. This way, you can choose whatever you like, and that's the good thing about music today. But as far as I'm concerned, I listen to some of the groups and some of the single artists, and to be honest with you guys, you don't see anyone with a great, with I don't know, with their own sound. They sound like someone that we already heard from before. We don't have Whitney Houston anymore. You got people that want to do Whitney Houston. You want to have people that want to do Lady Gaga. You want to have people that sound like Madonna. We have all of these people, but there's nothing original in it. And they're not playing on the radio anymore either. Some other thing. Playing music on the radio. Because now, what is a radio? Everything that you listen to now is online. They have radio stations online, but your kids, they're not going to go where you are when you keep that desk radio, right? Turn on. They're going to ask, what is that? They don't even know what a radio is. So they get all of their music online, and they order music is always from Amazon and all of these other these little internet companies that you can order music from, and so forth. So that's what I don't know, guys. That's what I feel about the music industry today. It kind of lost its flavor, lost its touch, but I don't knock it because this is what's handed now, and this is what the kids listen to. Right now, the phenomenal in the music industry right now, the one that comes to mind is Taylor Swift. I mean, she's selling out crowds. A lot of great reggae musicians are selling out crowds. A lot of great R&B musicians, hip hop musicians, they're selling out crowds. Other than that, I say to the artists, you up and coming artists, try to get away from the people that you imitate. It's okay to imitate because that's how if you stay with it at one time, you can't do it. And I said that to one particular host who I'm not going to name because they're here to defend themselves. I told them, I said, if you're going to do this, make sure you find yourself at some point. Find yourself. Find who you are. And that out. You try to be a Lady Gaga. Don't try to be a Madonna. Anybody else like that. You do that for a while. It's going to spend your whole entire career doing that. that's going to be like the end of your career. Okay, so there's my point of view on the music industry. As far as the movies are concerned, I have a bunch of movies I want to bring out to you guys. Now, you know that each week when I come out here, I always have my picks of the week of movies for people to watch. And of course, whatever you do on the weekend, one of the things maybe is to catch on some movies. And if you like the movie, then I am going to be part of the action for you. What I'm going to do is I am going to give you some movies to check on. And those movies are going to be, I guess, what you call part of the listings to put into your bucket list of movies that I want to watch this week. So I'm going to start it off like right now. Okay, here's something that goes back to 1944. It's a great old time movie. I hope you like it. I do like it. It's a great musical called Meet Me in St. Louis, 1944, starring Judy Garland and Margaret O'Brien. And that's on Turner Classic Movies, and you can check it out this Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And it's a great, it comes in every once in a while. And sometimes, you play it twice during the week or something like that. But, check it out. It's a great movie. Here's something else that a lot of you may remember. Jailhouse Rock, back in 1957. 1957, Elvis Presley. Okay, going back in time, there you go. Turner Classic Movies, and you can see that also Saturday, this Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern. Jailhouse, another musical. That's another great musical. Imitation of Life. Now, Imitation of Life was one of those movies that I grew up with back in 1959. Now, there's an original and there's a remake. Believe it or not, those of you who only remember the remake, which is 1959, starring Lana Turner, right? That was in 1959, but there was an original Imitation of Life that went back to 1934, which is going to be broadcast on Turner Classic Movies. And that's starring Claudette Colbert, Warren Williams, and Louise Beaver. Right? Turner Classic Movies, and that's on Saturday. It's Saturday morning. And if you care to sleep a little later than 10, well, that's actually Saturday, 10 p.m. I got it mixed up my A's with my P's. Okay, it's Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. The original Imitation of Life. Now, watch it. And then when you get a chance to watch the remake, which is in 1959, you can compare them, see what you like best. And I grew up with the 1959 version because back then I didn't know there was an original Imitation of Life. So when I discovered there was, I decided, okay, I'm gonna watch it because you want to make sure, fair play, right? See which one you like better. And I watched them both. And to be honest with you, I love the one in 1959 because it's more of an image on life itself. And I enjoyed that movie better off than I did the movie back in 1934. And but you make your decision and watch it this weekend. That's Imitation of Life. That's Saturday at 10 p.m. Here's another one that goes back to 1956 with Henry Fonda, Vera Miles, and Anthony Quayle. Alfred Hitchcock production called The Wrong Man, which is based on a true story. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can check it out. It comes on twice on Sunday. And if you miss it once, you can check it out a second time. The first time it comes on, it's on Sunday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning. It's midnight, Saturday, Sunday morning, 12 a.m. Eastern. And then again, it comes on again in the morning at 10 a.m. Sunday, Eastern. It was called The Wrong Man, 1956, Henry Fonda, Vera Miles, Anthony Quayle. And again, that's Junior Classic Movies twice, Saturday night, Sunday morning at 12 midnight, and then again, Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Now, again, you can DVR all of these movies course, you can do that. DVR all of these movies, and then you can watch it later at earliest convenience. And finally, here's something that I think everybody needs. 1960s Psycho with Anthony Perkins and Janet Leigh. Vera Miles together. That's on Turner Classic Movies. And it's on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be watching that myself. I could watch that movie 1,000 times and not get tired of it. You could watch that on Turner Classic Movies. And so you can also go to Turner Classic Movies and go through the page down the program guide and select other movies that you'll see, and you say, oh, you know, he didn't mention that. It's not that I don't like the movie, it's just the fact that these are my picks of the week. But you can add those to your list of movies to watch this weekend in conjunction with the ones I just gave you. And of course, you can also DVR them, giving you a chance to see them real time. And while you're there on demand, there's a place where you can go on demand and watch some of the older movies that dates back to the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and so forth and so on. There's a whole list of them from A to Z. Check them out, find out something that you like. And also, while you're there, go to the movies. You can watch the movies that are into the theaters now, or the movies that were once into the theaters. Pay-per-view movies, you can watch them all. And of course, there are a lot of networks that say if you like Lifetime movies, see what's available on Lifetime. That you like your sports, of course, sports. You know, all of those available sport. If you don't get a chance to see those in real time, you can also check it out the following day. And in some cases, you don't have to watch commercials, right? You don't have to watch the commercials. All you have to do is just go there. I'm not saying for sure that you know, sometimes they do have commercials implemented there, but you can watch these sporting events in full time. Like I like wrestling. If I miss a wrestling match the following day, depending on the network, I will go onto that network and watch the wrestling match that I missed. And so you can do that, as you know, and so many other things. So let me repeat all of these movies once again, okay? You've got, let's see, Meet Me in St. Louis with Judy Garland and Margaret O'Brien. Turner Classic Movies Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Jailhouse Rock, Elvis Presley. Turner Classic Movies Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern. You have Invitation to Life, the original Invitation to Life, Claudia Colbert, Warren Williams, and Louise B. Wrong Man, Henry Fonda, Vera Miles, and Anthony Quayle. And that's on Turner Classic Movies Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern. And finally, Psycho with Anthony Perkins, Janet Leigh, and Vera Miles. It's on the Turner Classic Movies Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm sure you're going to be here. Birthdays today. Singer Pink is 44 years old today. Politician Bernie Sanders is 82 today. Ventriloquist and Willie Tyler. Ventriloquist. Got that? That's tongue twisting. Ventriloquist. Willie Tyler is 83 today. Country singer Patsy Cline is at 91 today. Actor Peter Sellers would have been 98. You have actress Denise Garcelle, who played in a lot of the westerns. She would have been 98 years old today. Jazz musician Wilbur Ware would have been 100 years old. Lady Sid Caesar would have been 101 years old. And actress Hillary Brooks played in the Abbott and Costello. Remember she used to say, Lewis? Well, anyway, she would have been 109 years old. Those are birthdays today. And by the way, in case any of you want to get in touch with me by any means, you can give me a call or email me. The email address is frankallenprod@aol.com. It's frankallenprod@aol.com. Or you can call me at 671-5900, extension 467-134. It's 641-715-6900. Let me 64 extension 467-134. Okay, that's it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do things for me for today. I'm Hope that you enjoyed the show. I'm out of here, but I will be back on Thursday. I'll be back here on Thursday evening for Talk Back Live. Hope that you will be able to join me. Brian Campbell will be along with me at that particular time. And of course, he'll have the latest developments in today's sports on Sports Update. Other than that, we'll be back here. And we'll be here, weather permitting. And we'll be here live. I am here as well. Ladies and gentlemen, until then, have yourself a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you all soon. Take care.
You've been watching The Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Coffee Hour.